Let's talk about UFC 328, Khamzat versus Sean Strickland. This wasn't just another fight. This was pressure versus pressure, aggression versus mind games, and two completely different personalities colliding under the brightest lights. There was a time when Strickland even joked that Khamzat needed to relax more in the gym because the guy came at people like he was already inside the octagon.
No, he gets a little bit. He gets a little bit. He gets a little bit. A little bit, yeah. Be nice. Gum is up. Understand? You're better than most. You're better than everybody. So just don't hurt people.
Now getting back to the fight to UFC 328, one thing became very clear. Khamzat seriously underestimated Sean Strickland. This guy reportedly had to cut around 21 kilograms in barely over a week just to make the fight happen. Now that is insane, especially for someone fighting at the highest levels of UFC. Honestly, that kind of weight cut doesn't happen unless something went completely wrong during camp. Either Khamzat thought Strickland wasn't dangerous enough to deserve full discipline, or he simply got comfortable after dominating for so long. And that is because when you are a superstar and you keep winning, sometimes you start believing nothing can go wrong. But this time, the lack of preparation, the brutal weight cut, and the pressure of the fight all caught up to him, and things didn't go the way he expected. Now the interesting part was how different Sean Strickland acted once the actual fight got close. Back when they were training together, Sean used to joke around with Khamzat, telling him to calm down. But during the pre-fight interviews, Sean Strickland completely switched his attitude. Sean Strickland completely changed his attitude before the fight to play a mental game against Khamzat. He stopped acting like the guy who joked about Khamzat being intimidating and started acting fearless instead. Because when the person you're trying to bully suddenly starts standing up to you confidently, the whole dynamic changes. That's when it starts becoming a real mental fight. Now, jumping into the octagon, Khamzat started the fight aggressively with heavy pressure and wrestling, but as the rounds went on, Sean Strickland adjusted well, survived the early storm, and slowly took control of the fight with sharper striking and better cardio. The scorecards were extremely close. Two judges gave Sean Strickland 48-47, with one judge scored it 48-47 for Khamzat. Khamzat clearly won the earlier rounds with pressure and wrestling, but Sean's striking, cardio and control in the later rounds helped him edge out the split decision victory. What makes this fight even crazier is that Sean Strickland managed to end one of the most legendary unbeaten streaks in MMA. Khamzat Chimaev was dominating elite fighters for years, and almost nobody expected Sean Strickland to be the man who would finally stop that run. That's what makes this such a massive upset. Sean was always seen as the underdog, especially against someone as feared as Khamzat. And the craziest part is, Sean had already lost to several fighters connected to Khamzat's level of competition, which made people doubt him even more coming into this fight. But in the end, Strickland shocked the entire MMA world and handed Khamzat the biggest loss of his career. And with that one of the most dominant runs in MMA finally comes to an end. Sean Strickland proved once again why he's one of the most unpredictable and dangerous underdogs the UFC has ever seen. But now, the biggest question is, will Khamzat come back stronger after this loss, or was this beginning of his downfall? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you have liked this video, then like this video. But if you have liked it more than you've liked this video, then make love with that subscribe button.